if we had a song that was partially written and it wasn't going right, that just got scratched. We didn't just write songs for the sake of writing songs. We wanted 10 songs that I could listen to every one of these songs and not say it's a weak point. And I myself don't feel there is, but we'll see what everybody else thinks of it.
What's up, everybody? Keefy from Ghost Cult Mag, back again. First interview of 2024 officially. I am so stoked and honestly honored to be joined by Jim from Morbid Saint. How are you doing today, Jim?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, man. We're here to talk about the brand new album, Swallowed by Hell. It's coming out on High Roller Records in February 9th. Let me make sure I get the date correct as we do this. And
Yeah, it's actually February 10th, but
okay.
it's midnight on the 9th, so you're really kind of however you want to look. We always
Splitting
say
hairs, but we do a lot of we were like one of the first websites to do like a stuff that comes out today, and then everybody started doing one. So instead of putting ours out only on Friday, we do one now, usually early in the week, share it a bunch, make sure everybody knows what records are coming out. Then we do it again on Friday and all weekend long, because I can't tell you how many people come and tell me like, I had no idea this band was putting a record out. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a lot of resources for fans.
right.
Yeah, but man, this is, I don't know if it's unfair to say this is a bit of a comeback record for the band. I think it is. 40 years as a band, first of all. I tip my hat to you, man. Like, even though I know you had a break and there was a lot of stuff going on with the lineup over the years, it really has been the three main guys the whole way when you have been active. And this record is just absolutely incredible. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I'm a person that as a real thrash historian, that I always used to tell people, like, when the new wave of American metal popped up about 20 years ago, your Shadows Falls, your Lamb of Gods, your Killswitch Engages, I know they had a big Swedish melodic death metal Jones, but I was like, they're really all just imitating the Swedish guys, imitating second wave thrash, including your band. So I still hear, when I hear those classic albums that are all hitting like a 20-year anniversary, I still hear your band. I hear, in the guitar work especially, I hear your band.
Well, that's that's very cool of you to say that.
Yeah,
I
well, I mean it from the heart, man. Big fan, like I said. First heard the first tape I was in high school, and then community college. It was like one of my tapes I had the Denon cassette tape 10-pack that I used to tote with me everywhere with my Walkman, and that was one of my tapes, man. Spectrum of Death. But Swallowed by Hell is killer. It's complete. It's a full record all the way through, no skips. So far for me, listen to it a few times to get ready to chat with you. Let's get the genesis of the last few years. I know it's been a crazy time in the world for everybody, but since the band has been back on, like, what's the story in terms of like the timeline for writing and recording this record?
well, we got back together with this lineup roughly 3 years ago, and we took the first probably 6 to 8 months to just kind of get a groove together with everybody. I obviously I played with Jay and Pat, the singer, but the other two guys, Bob and DJ, I never played with them. So it takes a little bit to see, so to where you start knowing what someone's going to do next. Where you don't have to be surprised by anything. So we took the first, about, like I said, 6 to 8 months to just get to know each other, play all the old stuff. I hadn't played the old stuff in a long time, so it took me a little bit to get back into it. And then after that, then we slowly started writing. It took about a year and a half to write all 10 songs. And so it was I don't know how to judge that, if that's fast or if that's slow. It seems slow to me. I know there's other bands can go in a studio and pound out an album in 3 months. And I guess if that's all you have to do in your life is sit in a studio all day long, you probably could pump it out in 3 months. We don't. We all work. So we have our own lives. So it took, like I said, about a year and a half, and then the recording took a little long. The recording went okay. Mixing and everything. It all took a little longer than we had anticipated, but it's finally here. We're very happy with it. We didn't throw any songs away. We didn't have any more than this. We wrote you know, if we had a song that was partially written and it wasn't going right, that just got scratched. You know, we didn't just write songs for the sake of writing songs. We wanted 10 songs that I could listen to every one of these songs and not say it's a weak point. And I myself don't feel there is. But we'll see what everybody else thinks of it. But I think it's 10. It's relentless from the start to beginning, and I hope other people feel that way too.
Killer, man. I definitely feel like it is relentless. And the songs are really complete. And like I said, there's a lot of depth on this record. It's great all the way through. One of my favorite things about the band ever has, like I said, has been the guitar work. And I'm not exactly perfect at picking out whose part is whose between you and Jay, but there's so much great riffing, and it's not riffing for the sake of riffing. It's riffs that really, make the songs. And then Pat's vocals are fucking unbelievable on this record, man. He's so good. I always admired that he was a singular voice. Like a lot of people, honestly, from back in the day, you either sounded like Hetfield, you sounded like Araya, or you sounded like Paul Bailoff, and that was it. There was no range in a lot of metal. A couple of guys came along, Eric KK, and people could really sing. But Pat's got a real specific killer voice that he's good for thrash. He has kind of a sometimes extreme metal voice sometimes. What a job he did on this record.
Yeah, I think I when we went in to record, when Pat was recording his tracks, yeah, we were all laughing at times because he's Pat, and Pat, he's a little strange at times, and he's fun to watch once in a while, and recording was great, and a lot of stuff he questioned himself on some of it. He's like, and we're all like, man, we're in here hearing it, man. It's good. You don't have to redo that take, So he pushed hard to do the best that he's able to. People have to understand that, with the singles that we've released already, we've heard there's some comments where people, Pat, he's not singing like Spectrum of Death. And, it's almost 40 years later. I'd be amazed if anybody could hold up that long, or and not even that it would hold up, but just that he could even sing that way. He's singing now. A big thing I think with Pat too is when we got him into band, he was not a singer, he was a drummer. He did sing for the band he was in, but when we took him into the studio to record Spectrum, pretty much just destroyed his voice because he didn't know how to sing properly. Now he does. Now he sings in a way that he can sing pretty much, a 3-hour set, and it's not gonna affect him. So that's gonna translate into a slightly different vocals than what he did have in the past. But I like the vocals on this album. I think they fit the songs. And I think Pat did an amazing job.
He sure did. And props to him, and eternal shout outs. And then you obviously, like you said, you had never played with the new rhythm section, newish, not really new, but newish.
Yeah.
What was like? Do you guys? What's your writing process like? Do you guys just bring in your own songs and then present it to the whole band to put their parts in? Do you kind of say, I wrote this song and dictate this is kind of how I envision it to go? How do you guys approach that? Especially being kind of like, we're not kids anymore, getting together in the garage, right? It's a whole when you have time to make music, right?
Right. When we practice as a band once a week, we have a practice area. So what we did when we started writing was we created a WhatsApp group for the band, and we were posting parts in there. We kind of embraced technology as much as we could, because it's here, you might as well use it. So what we would do is typically put parts. Jay would record some guitar parts at his house. I'd record some. Bob, whatever, and kind of get them together, and I would play with them a little bit, and in every practice we would kind of work on what we had kind of came up with. I tend to have the majority of the way the songs are structured and put together, with those pieces that were given to me. I did a lot of that, and then it would be presented to the band, and then if changes need to be made, and we made changes. But we did a lot of the song building and everything was done away from practice and then tweaked at practice. So it worked out well that way, because if you sit around as a band at practice, I think, and try to write a song, I don't know how well that works. It wouldn't work well for us. Because I don't think, you're in a frame of mind where you want to write something, and if there's nothing happening, just stop because nothing good's gonna come out of that. I don't think, so we would play around with different arrangements and different parts, and as long as Jay and I kept coming up with guitar parts, it wasn't really a problem.
Right on, of course. You bring in the riffs. I always feel like every guitar player, people have heard me say this, I feel like every guitar player especially has like a bag of unused riffs. We'll bring that back another time when the time is right.
Right.
You woodshed enough that you just make enough music to have stuff to pull from. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Let's talk about High Roller Records for a second, because I'm a big fan of that label. We cover a lot of their stuff here. How did that come about, that partnership? Because I feel like the band you could have signed anywhere. What did they approach you? Did you put it out there? You were looking for a new home for a new album. How did that come about?
We got hooked up with High Rollers through Century Media when we were with them, and when we ended the deal with Century Media, High Rollers still wanted to keep their catalog of the older Morbid stuff. So they knew they had to come to us, so they contacted us to see if we were willing to still work with them on that. And we were. We're happy with High Rollers. We've everything they've done, they've been easy to work with. It's been great. They did not necessarily know that we were writing a new album, but we made them aware of it, and they were pretty ecstatic to have an opportunity to even have that album. From what I gather from them, they were willing to do whatever to be able to release it, to be the label to release it. And like you said, there was no other labels knocking on our door saying, we even now, there's there's not anybody coming saying, well, yeah, we don't, you're with High Rollers, but we'd like you to be with us, whatever. That's not happening. So, which is fine with us. Because we with High Rollers, what we did was we signed a distribution deal with them. So we didn't sign the rights to our music away. We weren't going to do that after we did that for a long time. So we wanted our rights, but we did want to stay with High Rollers. So it's a distribution deal. They've got the rights to distribute it for a certain amount of time. But we think for us that's the best case scenario, because we kind of felt if even if a bigger label would have came to us, if a label is going to sign you, they're going to want you to promote that album as much as you can, or even more than you can. So they would want to put you on a tour and stuff like that. And we just can't do that. We're not a touring band. We all have jobs. We all have families. We can't just pick up and take off for 3 months and quit our jobs and stuff. We know we're beyond that at our age. So it works out well. High Rollers is doing great PR. We're pushing it the best we can. And as far as touring or shows like that, we really want to fly out for festivals, one-offs, stuff like that. But as far as like an extended tour, you probably won't see that happening with us. There might be some long weekend stuff going on, but like I said, this Morbid Saint does not pay our bills. Our jobs do. So that obviously has to come first. But we're gonna do as much as we can as far as playing live and stuff like that. But we felt if we would have went with a label, we would have probably been forced to do some stuff we didn't really want to do. So we stayed with High Rollers with the deal that we have, worked with them, and they're happy with it. We're happy with it. And I like I said, I think they put out a great product. No complaints whatsoever with High Rollers.
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to this. Vinyl is back. There's going to be several vinyl variants, cassette, CD with a slipcase. I saw the little glossy. I was like so excited. I was like, this is tremendous. I don't even think I have Spectrum on vinyl. So I would love to get this new record on vinyl.
Well, the Spectrum is I know High Rollers still has Spectrum and the Destruction System they just released with the new cover, and we'll actually have all of that on our website available when this album drops. All three of them will be all that stuff will be on there too.
Oh, so sick. I'm excited. And just in terms of festivals, there are enough festivals now in America. Right in the band's original backyard there. Milwaukee Metal Fest is back with Jamie Josta putting it on. Hell's Heroes in Houston, Full Terror Assault not too far in Chicago. So maybe one of these festivals will get the band, throw a little money at you and let you come out for a weekend and do a show or two. I would love to see you guys live. It'd be a treat for me, having been a longtime fan.
We did Metal Fest last year, the first Josta's first
Yep.
year of it. We did that, and we are playing Hell's Heroes coming up in March. And Full Terror Assault, nothing on that. We love to play Full Terror Assault. The band did play that years ago, but nothing as far as that goes right now. But yeah, we're looking forward to Hell's Heroes. We
Yeah,
never
it looks incredible.
Morbid Saint never played in Texas.
Oh, amazing. See, there you
So,
go.
yeah,
Maybe the second life or third life of the band will make some new opportunities for you to check some things off the bucket list. I'd love for it to happen for you.
yeah, we're hoping so. We're hoping we get some more interest in the band from festivals and stuff like that. So
Well, you will with this album. You will. Just for a last thing as we wrap this up, for a band that's 40 years old with a classic record, in my opinion, from 30 years ago, if somebody was to get into your band and you had to play them one song, what song would that be from Morbid Saint?
from any of the albums,
Any albums? What's the song like? Here, new fan that has never heard of us. Check this track out. What's the track you would pick personally to share?
I personally think that all the songs on the new album are better than anything, in my opinion, just because I love the guitar work on the new album. But if it had to be one song, I hands down probably my favorite song is Assassin.
That's
Just
a good one.
7 minutes of it's a hard song to play. I think it's 7.5 minutes, and it rarely slows down. But yeah, Assassin, that would probably have to be mine.
Yeah, 34 years ago at this point. I'll tell you, Assassin is one of my favorites. My favorite, probably ever, track from the band is the one right after it, Damien. Unbelievable track. Short,
Those,
so good. Those two, man. I love that. That was side one of a cassette for me. That was the end of a side one for me, and it was huge. Jim, man, it's been just a pleasure to chop it up with you and talk about this. Welcome back. Congratulations. Shout out to the rest of the guys in the band. Please send our gratitude to them. And yeah, best of luck with this album coming out February 9th or 10th, just about.
yeah,
February 10th. Don't get it wrong. We'll have it all listed correctly and linked, and all the stuff linked where people can buy it and pick it up. Jim, man, thanks so much for everything. Thanks for hanging with Ghost Cult. I really appreciate you.
hey, I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we'll see you soon.